Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So the last two sections of 11th chapter, we are going to cover up today. And also we shall try to begin with 12th chapter, the most celebrated chapter, Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. So previously we had discussed in 11th chapter that Arjuna is requesting Lord to show his Virat Rupa form. For many reasons. Mainly, we discussed how in future many imposter incarnations are going to come, and to curtail them and to put a test of those incarnations. Lord, actually, Arjuna wanted to see the universal form of the Lord, and also he wanted to see personally like how it is. So, just wait it. Yeah. Yeah, so he wanted to preach actually. So Arjuna, being compassionate for all the living entities, he appeals Lord to show his Virat Rupa form. So then Lord bestows what's called a Divya Chakshu, a divine vision, necessary to see the Vishwar Virat Rupa form. Because he had already got the chakshu, the eyes, which is you know filled with love to Krishna, which can only appreciate the most beautiful, loving form of the Lord in two-handed form. But to see the Virat Rupa form also required a special vision. So Lord has to bestow this vision to Arjuna. Then we see that Arjuna sees all existence, everything into the personality of Krishna in the universal form, immeasurable, radiant, situated in different places. So we see from text 19 onwards. So Arjuna sees and he shows how he's frightened like fully by seeing this all destructive Kalarup, which is eating all the soldiers assembled in the Kurukshetra battlefield. So Krishna had previously promised to show Arjuna things he would be interested in seeing. Everything at one place. Krishna is showcasing what is going to happen in future, everything past, present, future at one time, at one place. So, like this, Arjuna sees that all the soldiers and warriors are killed and nobody is remaining except Pandavas. Then Lord Arjuna is asking that, who are you, my Lord? What is your mission? Lord tells, Kalos Miham Lukshakrit Pavito. I am the eternal time appeared here to annihilate the masses of the people here, I'll destroy the whole world. And in this way, Arjuna is actually told by the Lord that you don't need to worry. If all the people are actually killed only, so you need to just become the instrument. So then, from 35 to 46 sloka onwards, we will be seeing today Arjuna's prayers, Arjuna trembling prays to the universal form. He also his intimacy, devotional service and intimacy is altered, so to speak, by the seeing the grandeur and splendorous form of the Lord. And he begs for the mercy that, oh Lord, many times I have joked with you, I have ate with you and acted as if you were you were my friend or very very informal way I have dealt with you, so kindly forgive. So then after that we'll see from 47 to 55, this number of slokas, some nine slokas. Then Arjuna's fearful prayers is answered by Krishna. So Krishna shows his first 400 forms. And previously, Arjuna has asked the Lord that kindly withdraw your universal form. Kindly show me your most beautiful form. And you were sowing already, had been sowing for many, many years. And so I want to see those most beautiful, most serene, and most soothing form, most beautiful form of yours, 200 forms. So in this way, Lord shows the 200 forms, and also he tells that this 200 form of mine is more exalted and very, very difficult, even more difficult than to see and appreciate the universal form. This 200 form of mine is supreme form of mine, understandable only by the devotees in pure unalloyed devotional service. So he establishes the exalted position of 200 form over the universal form. Sometimes impersonalists and the neophytes they take the universal form very very seriously. They think universal form is the only real form of the Lord, but actually it is not so. Uh, we see also in Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, at one place, Srila Sukadeva Goswami is telling that for those impersonalists who could not get to devotional service and they stuck their mm, conception in universal form. So, universal form is, so to speak, for the neophyte, it's not for the exalted people. So, that is also being established at the end of this chapter. So, let's proceed ahead, sloka by sloka, and let's see what gets unfolded. So, 35. Hmm. एतत् श्रुत्वा वचनं sorry सञ्जय उवाच एतत् श्रुत्वा वचनं केशवस्य कृताञ्जलिर्वेपमानः किरीटी नमस्कृत्वा भूय एवाह कृष्णं सगद्गदं भीत प्रणम्य translation please someone can read translation and purport we have only two devotees here so one
Yes,
after
please.
another can read
Hare Krishna.
please
Dandapranam.
read Dhanvat Pratyut
Translation.
Sakapto please read.
Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. Purport. As we have already explained, because of the situation created by the universal form of the Supreme Personality of God, Arjuna became bewildered in wonder. Thus he began to offer his respectful obeisances to Krishna again and again. And with faltering voice, he began to pray, not as a friend, but as a devotee in wonder. Hare Krishna.
Text 36. Arjuna Uvacha Khane Rishikesh Tava Prakirtaya Jagat Parishyattanurajyate cha Rakshansi Bhitani Disho Dravanti Sarve Namasyanti cha Siddha Sangha. Translation and purport. Next devotee can read.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, just 1 minute. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Purport. Arjuna, after hearing from Krishna about the outcome of the battlefield, battle of Kurukshetra, became enlightened and as a great devotee and friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said that everything done by Krishna is quite fit. Arjuna confirmed that Krishna is the maintainer and the object of worship for the devotees and the destroyer of the undesirables. His actions are equally good for all. Arjuna understood herein that when the battle of Kurukshetra was being concluded, in outer space there were present many demigods, siddhas, and the intelligentsia of the higher planets. And they were observing the fight because Krishna was present there. When Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it, but others who were demons and atheists could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they fled. Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheists is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whether he does is good for all. Whatever he does is good for all.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, bro. So what is happening? The demons are fleeing, and demigods are uh, hailing the master of sense. The world becomes joyful, hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. All the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage. The demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. And also by chanting the holy name of the Lord, the same thing happens, right? Because devotees are chanting the holy name throughout the whole world. People are getting more and more attached to Krishna. And perfected beings are offering respectful homage all to the Supreme Lord. Demonic people are afraid because of Sankirtan movement. And they're fleeing here and there. And everything is rightly done. Mr. Prabhupada has told this Krishna consciousness moment is the incarnation of Krishna. And also one place Prabhupada has told that Krishna has taken shelter in the womb of ISKCON. And when this ISKCON will beget the child called Krishna by the process of Sankirtan movement, and all the demoniac people like Kansa and all will be killed. So it's not just like Krishna came then and now he's not there. In the form of Harinam Sankirtan, Lord is actually performing his pastimes. And when devotee becomes seriously dedicated for the cause of Sankirtan movement, then automatically we see Lord actually he doing all his pastimes. Now, establishment of dharma, protection of devotees, and killing of demons. All three things takes place by Sankirtan movement. Text 37. Kasmaश्च तेन न मेरन्महात्मन् गरीयसे ब्रह्मणोऽप्यादिकर्ते कर्त्रे अनन्तदेवे स जगन्निवास त्वमक्षरं सदसत्तत्परं यत्. Next.
Hare Krishna. Translation: O Great One, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Purpose. By this offering of obeisances, Arjuna indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He is all pervading and he is the soul of every soul. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means that he is most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta indicates that there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Supreme Lord. And Devasa means that he is the controller of all demigods and is above them all. He is the center of the whole universe. Arjuna also thought that it was fitting that all the perfect living entities and powerful demigods offer their respectful obeisances unto him. Because no one is greater than him. Arjuna especially mentioned that Krishna is greater than Brahma because Brahma is created by him. Brahma is born out of the lotus stem grown from the navel abdomen of Garbhodaksai Vishnu, who is Krishna's primary extension. Therefore, Brahma and Lord Shiva, who is born of Brahma, and all other demigods must offer their respectful obeisances. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that the Lord is respected by Lord Shiva and Brahma and similar other demigods. The word Aksharam is very significant because this material creation is subject to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. He is the cause of all causes, and being so, He is superior to all the conditioned souls within this material nature as well as the material cosmic manifestation itself. He is therefore the all great supreme.
Thank you. Tamadideva Purusha Purana Stamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Vittasi Vedyam Param Chadhama Tvaya Tatam Vishwamanantarupa.
You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes, O limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. Everything is resting on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, therefore, He is the ultimate rest. Nidhanam means that everything, even the Brahman effulgence, rests on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the knower of everything that is happening in this world, and if knowledge has any end, He is the end of all knowledge. Therefore, He is the known and the knowable. He is the object of knowledge because He is all pervading, because He is the cause in the spiritual world. He is transcendental. He is also the chief personality in the transcendental world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, brother. Tamadideva Purusha Purana. This is Adideva. Veda Purusha, oldest Purusha. Tam Asya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam. In him only all the worlds, all the universes resides. Vittasi Vidyam. Vittasi means the knower. Vidyam means knowable. So he is the knower and as well as he is the knowable. Yeah, knower and knowable. Cha Param Cha Dhama. Once again is told Dhama. So same thing is being repeated because Arjuna is in like a different bhava, right? So he's speaking the same thing back again, back and forth. Taya tatam vishwam anantarupam. From you only all Brahmandas are coming, and you have unlimited forms, so Lord. Vayuryamognirvarunasya shankah प्रजापतिस्तं प्रपितामहश्च नमो नमस्तेऽस्तु सहर्षकृत्वः पुनश्च भूयोऽपि नमो नमस्ते.
Hare Krishna. You are air and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times and again and yet again. Purport. The Lord is addressed here as air because the air is the most important representation of all the demigods. Being all pervasive, Arjuna also addresses Krishna as the great grandfather because he is the father of Brahma. the first living creature in the universe.
Hare Krishna, thanks so much. So, Vayur, Yamo, Agni, Varuna, Sasanka. Synonyms, let's see synonyms. Yama means the controller, Yamraj. You are the air, you are the controller. Agni, you are water, you are Varuna. Shashanka, you are the moon, you are Prajapati Brahma, Tom Prapitama, and also your father, Brahma, great grandfather. Cha, Namah, Namah, Namaste Yastu, Shastakatva, 1,000 times. Punascha Bhuya Api Namah Namaste. So once again, I pay your obeisances. So, in universal form, we see that everything is Krishna. So, how to understand everything is Krishna? Doesn't it look like a impersonalism to do this? What do you say about it? How we could see Krishna in everything? In air, in water, air, in fire. And I take from you, yeah. What is the impersonalist theory? And God is everywhere. And here also we see Arjuna is seeing Krishna everywhere, in air, in water, in fire. So what is the difference between impersonalism and a devotee? Hmm? Anybody else would like to say something? Your understanding between.
The impersonalist who worship like a whole form, like universal. He observe also the whole universal form. He don't observe like Krishna 200 or 400. But a bhakta or devotee observe Krishna separately, apart from the water, fire, air. He separately know the original form of Krishna, and by that he can worship and he can observe the form and he can do the bhakti also.
Yeah, very nice. Exactly told. So impersonalists, they even the thing that even personal form the Lord is temporary, or it is not so exalted as Brahman. So Lord has pervaded everywhere. So like that. So they don't give so much emphasis upon the personal form of the Lord. They give emphasis upon all pervaded all pervaded feature of the Lord, right? That's called Brahman. And they don't have so much of devotional sentiment toward the personal form of the Lord. They regard the impersonal feature of the Supreme Absolute Brahman, and they understand it that way. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Any other devotee like to say something? Anupam Prabhu.
So impersonalists think that there is no personal form, only the impersonal form is there. And but personalists think that there is a personal form from where the impersonal form is coming. Like the light is coming from the bulb, not the bulb is coming from the light. This way. So bulb is like personal and light is coming from that. So this way the
Exactly.
personal.
So who is correct? Personal is correct or impersonal is correct?
Actually, the personalists are correct because the impersonalist form is coming from that personalist. That person, there is one person from where the impersonalist conception is coming.
Ah, certainly. So impersonalists are correct and personalists are also correct.
Correct, but not
Yeah.
complete.
Not completely. More perfect. Personalists are more perfect, right?
Yes.
Because everything is having two forms, two features, personal and impersonal. Air is also personal and air is also impersonal, right? How? Air we see, we feel, there is no person. But behind the air, there is a person, isn't it? And his name is Vayudev, right? Behind everything, there is a person. But things we see first is impersonal. Fire, air, water. Behind everything, there is a person. But the impersonally, they don't see the person. They don't appreciate the person. They simply appreciate the impersonal figure. Similarly, behind everything, there is Krishna. But they don't understand, they don't appreciate Krishna. But they simply appreciate the creation of Krishna, in which Lord has spread as Brahman. So that's their conception. That's not complete conception, but that is not also wrong conception. That is acceptable. Okay, so then what is the difference between impersonalists and Mayavadis? Are they same or are they different or
Impersonalists are actually not the offender, but Mayavadi are offender. They think that Lord comes in Maya.
yes. And impersonally what they think?
Impersonalists think that they don't say that there is a Lord coming under the Maya. They just keep its limit like there is a supreme personal form. There is no impersonal form. But they don't say anything about Maya. Lord is coming under the Maya. But Mayavadi say that Lord is coming under the Maya.
That's correct. Anything else? Achyut Karpan would like to say the difference between Mayavadis and impersonalists?
So the Mayavadis are, we can say, deeper impersonalists. Deeper means
Mm.
impersonalists, they like overall they see that every creation belongs to Lord and Lord is like whole creation. So when Mayavadi they think that deeper means every soul also becomes super soul.
Every soul, what you say?
So soul in Mayavadi philosophy, soul also is super soul because they will unite with Lord.
Mm.
So their thought is different. Like they we can say deeper impersonalist. Mayavadi. Even like
Yeah, your
personalist,
understanding is okay, but the terminology telling Mayavadi to be deeper impersonalists could may not be justified because they
not
are the
deeper,
two
but like in seventh chapter the word is used Sudurlabha, like that I was telling. Like
Sudurlabha. Who are the
Sudurlabh is
Sudur?
like very rare. Sudurlabh. A term was used, na Sudurlabh.
Yeah. So
Seventh and
Mayavadis are Sudurlabha
Ram.
or
No, no, not Sudurlabh. So in that way only, they are like Mayavadis are so impressionalist. That's what I was telling. Deeper
yeah,
means in that background. Uh, so
yeah,
their thought like to uh, that Prue mentioned about Maya also. So under covering of Maya also, and when soul also has power of the super soul, then how we can under control of Maya right now? Why we cannot win the Maya and come over the rules of Maya and we can have freedom? But they do not have that answer.
yeah.
They have their answer, but they can't clarify.
It depends like how they see these five factors, no? How they see the nature, how they see the jiva, how they see the world, how they see the God, Krishna, how they see what do they understand to be the purpose of their life, purpose of their practice. So, and what is the relationship among all these things? So impersonalists have different conception. Mayavadis have different conception altogether. So for the jivas, Mayavadis think that jiva is also a god. That is nonsense. But impersonalists think that God, jiva is a part of God, and ultimately they will merge into God. They may not consider jiva to be God. That is the difference. Mayavadis think that God comes in Maya when it takes the human form. But impersonalists think that everything is impersonal, and at particular time, impersonal thing condensed get into personal form, and nirguna becomes saguna. So they have that understanding. For Prakriti, for Prakriti, I think both of them have a similar thing. They say Prakriti is Mayavadi, Prakriti is mithya. I mean, mithya means it's false, right? This क्या बोलते हैं उसको जगत मिथ्या ब्रह्म
Brahma
सत्य
Satya Jagat.
ब्रह्म सत्यम जगत मिथ्या they say Mayavadi they say like this. And impersonalists they say that this world is also pervaded by Brahman. So, whether it's a mithya, I don't feel like I never heard so. So, but Mayavadi say Jagat, Brahman Satyam Jagat Mithya. So, but personalists, devotees of the Lord, the followers of the four sampradayas, they have exactly different view upon these things. You know? And their destination is different. Impersonalists, their destination is to merge. Mayavadis also think that they will merge, but how they will merge? Because they are aparadhis. They are saying that Krishna is Krishna comes in Maya. So Krishna Paradhi, Mayavadi Krishna Paradhi. They are thinking they will become, they will merge, but they will go to Narak. Narak में भी जगह नहीं मिलेगा. That's the difference. And personalist, of course, personalist, we know our philosophy. Who is who? We understand. We never say Jagat is mithya. Do we say Jagat is mithya? No, we never say Jagat is mithya. Jagat is truth. How Supreme Personality of Godhead created this Jagat and that become mithya. It's a big uh, offense actually. Jagat is not mithya. But everything is actually is coming from Krishna. And in this way, devotees are able to see everything in connection with Krishna and they remember Krishna. Right? That's the position of devotees. So text 40.
Prabhu, here I have one small question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Uh, how do we see Shankaracharya's philosophy? Like, is it Mayavada philosophy or impersonalist or
Shankaracharya's philosophy is Mayavadi, actually. It's Mayavad. It's not
Mhm.
impersonal, but it's mixed. Impersonal also is there type of, but it's mainly Mayavad. You know? Impersonal philosophy is like Sukadeva Goswami, like Chatus Kumara, they used to follow impersonal philosophy, Nirvikalpa Brahmana. They have taken shelter of. But this Vivartavad, this Mayavad is called also Vivartavad, Vivartavad Vedanta Darshan, in which they say Supreme God is there and He transformed Himself into the whole world. And after transforming Himself into the whole world, Supreme Lord ceases to exist. This is Vivartvad. Means like means something is there and from something come out, then that that ceases to exist, right? It's a mundane conception, Mayavadi conception. But devotees means they understand Sakti Parinamvad. Means Lord's energy has transformed into this material universes, but Lord keeps his separate existence at the same time. He has not transformed. His Sakti has been transformed. So this is what Vedanta's wrong interpretation Shankaracharya has given, Vivartavad. That's what is called Mayavad. And Vedanta Sutras, any impersonal, and even impersonalists also they take shelter of this Vartavad sometimes. But previously, impersonalists used to just take shelter of Upanishads. There are many Upanishads which describe Supreme God as impersonal, Nirgun, Nirvishesh. So they take shelter of Upanishads. But this Vedantic misinterpretation done by Shankaracharya is complete Mayavad. Isn't it, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. But why Sukadeva Goswami and Chatus Kumaras considered the Supreme Lord as impersonal?
They previously had that conception. Sukadeva Goswami, before he meets with his own father, devotee, he had that conception. Similarly, this Chatus Kumaras, before they meet with this Jaya Vijay and they had darshan of the Lord, they had this conception because they happen to be in material world. So in this way, it's told no, unless you meet with a devotee, you cannot have personal feature of the Lord manifested as prominently as for the devotee. So they had such conception before. Everything is Brahman. What explanation can be given that how they had, why they had? They had just like that from their birth. Sukadeva Goswami from the very birth he had such conception that everything is just illusory presentation of God. I don't need to get stuck with this. As soon as he takes birth, he runs away from the house. Could you imagine? We are so much into this understanding of what is truth and what is Maya. So when fully absorbed into निर क्या बोलते हैं उसको निर्विशेष ब्रह्मानुसंधान. Later on, when he meets with the devotee, Vyasdev's disciples, and then he becomes devotee. Also, could be for to give the example for others that unless you meet with a devotee, you cannot become a devotee. Like many Mayavadis, they become so not Mayavadis also. Impersonalists have become devotee, like Madhusudan Saraswati of Varanasi. Great impersonalist Mayavadi. He became a devotee, first class lover of the Lord. So like this, we see the examples in material people they come and they before previously they either materialist or impersonalist, they also become devotee. Also to glorify the position of devotional service, they were previously impersonalist and they became later on first class personalist devotees of the Lord. That also could be one reason. Never we have seen that a personalist become impersonalist or devotee become impersonalist. I never came across any such example. Huh? Is there any example? A devotee become the impersonalist?
No.
Uh, Maybe sometimes a devotee in neophyte stage they may offend devotees and somebody have they had wrong, very much bad impression with devotees, and then they may leave also. Then if they do offenses more, then they become impersonalist, isn't it? That's like Ramachandra Puri, the disciple of Sripad Madhvendra Puri. He was supposed to be the devotee, as dear devotee as Madhvendra Puri, Ishwar Puri, but he became impersonalist, isn't it? Do you know this story of Ramachandra Puri?
No, can you please tell Prabhu?
Ramachandra Puri is the disciple of Sripad Madhavendra Puri. Of course, Madhavendra Puri, all of you know. Uh, Madhavendra Puri, who constructed the first temple of Gopalji on the peak of Govardhan, who who worshipped Gopalji first time after many years of this he was hidden somewhere in the Jhadi. And he's the spiritual master of Isarpuri. Isarpuri is the spiritual master of Mayapur. So Madhavendra Puri had many, many disciples. Etan Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, Iswar Puri, Ramchandra Puri. The Ramchandra Puri happened to become little bit offensive toward devotees. He used to find many faults with the devotees. Because of that, he turned himself into impersonalism. Sometimes it happens that even disciple of a first class devotee also maybe become type of impersonalist because of many offenses. Yeah. So it means to sustain as a devotee, we need some rasa, right? We need some personalist, bhava. That comes only when devotee becomes merciful upon us. We serve devotees, but rather we offend devotees, then aparadh happens, and there is no more reciprocation. Then we become dry, philosophical speculator. So that's the chance of falling down from the higher position. Usually that doesn't happen, but in rare circumstances, it could happen also. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells that if you do some number of offenses, then you lose taste in holy name. If you do some more number of offenses, then you leave chanting also. If you do even more number of offenses, then you may even leave association of devotees altogether, means for many, many years, many lifetimes. And even if you do more offenses, then you start eating meat and all, doing sinful activities. So like this, offenses increases more and more and more. And people, they go more farther away from Lord and his devotees and the devotional paraphernalia, devotional activities. And they may turn themselves into impersonalist. Just recently, one devotee took initiation. Now he somehow or other, now he's away from association duties. Now he taken center of some Mayavadi guru. So he initiated devotee of ISKCON. And now he has turned into. So it's very rare case when in neophyte stage somebody happens to offend devotees. So then there is chance of such deviations also. But we have not seen like so many like very exalted position there somebody has become impersonalist. But from the very exalted position of impersonalism, people have become devotees of the Lord. Like Sukadeva Goswami and Chatush Kumaras, Madhusudan Saraswati, Raman, sorry, what is this? Prakashananda Saraswati and his many, many disciples, Sarva Bhattacharya. Okay, so we shall carry, go ahead. नमः पुरस्तादथ पृष्ठतस्ते नमोऽस्तु ते सर्वत एव सर्व अनन्तवीर्यामितविक्रमस्त्वं सर्वं समाप्नोषि ततोऽसि सर्वः. Read the translation purport. Madhav Braj
Yes.
Vallabh.
Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Purport. Out of loving ecstasy for Krishna, his friend Arjuna is offering his respects from all sides. He is accepting that he is the master of all potencies and all prowess, and far superior to all the great warriors assembled on the battlefield. It is said in the Vishnu Purana, Yoyam Tavagato Deva Samipam Devatagana Sattvam Evajat Srashta Yatha Sarvagato Bhavan. Whoever comes before you, even if he be a demigod is created by you, O Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Hare Krishna. So let's go ahead. So Arjuna is praying out of great emotion. On all the sides, I like to pay obeisance to my Lord. सखेति मत्वा प्रसवं यदुक्तं हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति अजानता महिमानं तवेदं मया प्रमादात् प्रणयेन वापि यच्चावः सार्थमसत्कृतोऽसि विहारशय्यासनभोजनेषु एकोऽथवाप्यच्युत तत्समक्षं तच्छामये त्वामहं प्रमेयम्. Translation and purport. Achyuta Sukartan Prabhu is in call. Out and out he is in call. Anupam.
Uh, Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadav, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Purport. Although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Arjuna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He is admitting that formally he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form, although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend. Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him, "Oh my friend, oh Krishna, oh Yadav," etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulences, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the trust between the devotee and the Lord eternally. It cannot be forgotten as we can see from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence of in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. Correct.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, bro. So he had not forgotten his friend relationship because he is still aware that he has told all these things, hey Yadav, hey Sakhe, uh, in the jest of love, right? Or in love, he tells no. Madness means there is a sense of grandeur, sense of opulence, sense of awe in the mind of. But actually, he has told in love, out of love. So he is in a higher rasa. His rasa is now a little bit suppressed. The natural rasa, sthai bhav of Sakhya is suppressed by wonder. And that's why he's telling such words. Text 43. पितासि लोकस्य चराचरस्य त्वमस्य पूज्यश्च गुरुर्गरीयान् न त्वत्समोऽस्ति अभ्यतिका कुतोऽन्यो लोकत्रयेऽप्यप्रतिमा प्रभाव. Translation.
Hare Krishna. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within this three worlds? O Lord of immeasurable power, purpose. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is worshipable as a father is worshipable for his son. He is the spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instruction to Dharma. And presently he is also instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master. And any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplic successor stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or a spiritual master of transcendental subject matter. The Lord is being paid obeisances in all respects. He is of immeasurable greatness. No one can be greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna because no one is equal to or higher than Krishna within any manifestation, spiritual or material. Everyone is below him. No one can excel him. This is stated in the Sweta Swatara Upanishad. नादस्य कार्यं कारणं च विद्यते न तत्समाच्च अभयाधिकाश्च दृश्यते. The Supreme Lord Krishna has senses and a body like the ordinary man. But for him there is no difference between his senses, his body, his mind. The foolish persons who do not perfectly know him say that Krishna is different from soul, mind, heart, and everything else. Krishna is absolute, therefore his activities and potentials are supreme. It is also stated that although he does not have senses like ours, he can perform all sensory activities. Therefore his senses are neither imperfect nor limited. No one can be greater than him, no one can be equal to him, and everyone is lower than him. The knowledge, strength, and activities of the Supreme Personality are all transcendental, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Janma karma cha meddevyam evam yogayati tattvataha tattvaleham punarjanma neti mameti. So Arjuna, whoever knows Krishna's transcendental body, activities, and perfection, after quitting his body, returns to him and doesn't come back again to this miserable world. Therefore, one should know that Krishna's activities are different from others. The best policy is to follow the principle of Krishna, and that will make one perfect. It is also stated that there is no one who is master of Krishna. Everyone is his servant. The Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 5.142 confirms. Ekale Ishvara Krishna Arasabhritya. Only Krishna is God and everyone else is his servant. Everyone is complying with his order. There is no one who can deny his order. Everyone is acting according to his direction, being under his superintendence. As stated in Brahma Samhita, he is the cause of all causes.
Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, Pita Lokasya Characharasya, you are the father of whole world, moving and non-moving. Tomasya Pujyasya, you are worshipable and you are the spiritual master. Natat Samoasti, nobody is equal to you, neither anybody is greater than you. Abhyadika Kuto Anyaha, Lokatreyapi Apratima Prabhava. In the three worlds, your potency, your power is immeasurable, Apratima, in three planet systems. Okay, so let's go ahead. So, to the next sloka. Tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam प्रसादये त्वामहमे समेज्यम् पितेव पुत्रस्य सुखेव सख्यु प्रिया प्रियाया रसिदेव सोढुम्. Translation.
You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectable obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband of the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you.
Good.
By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, or one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. As a father tolerates, or the husband or a master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates.
Krishna tolerates, right? Because Krishna is the source of all those relationships, right? He is the source of all mothers, he is the source of all fathers, source of all sons. All relationships are there with Krishna. So here Arjuna is asking that, oh Lord, please forgive me in whatever way. As husband sometimes forgives the wife, sometimes wife becomes too much familiar. She happened to accuse the husband or something. A friend, the impertinence of the friend. A father tolerate the impudence of his son. So please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you previously. अत्रेष्टपूर्वं हृषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपं प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास. वह प्रभु समन वह अनुपम श्रीताय प्रभु पीछे क्यों देखता है आगे देखो अनुपम प्रभु और पड़ जाओ जल्दी जल्दी.
Translation.
वो
Translation. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Purport. Arjuna is always in confidence with Krishna because he is a very dear friend, and as a dear friend is gladdened by his friend's opulence. Arjuna is very joyful to see that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and can show such a wonderful universal form. But at the same time, after seeing that universal form, he is afraid that he has committed so many offenses to Krishna out of his unalloyed friendship. Thus, his mind is disturbed out of fear. Although he had no reason to fear, Arjuna therefore is asking Krishna to show his Narayana
प्रभु
form
ক্লাসে
because
আছি
he
একটু
can.
পরে ফোন করছি.
Arjuna therefore is asking Krishna to show his Narayan form because he can assume any form. This universal form is material and temporary, as the material world is temporary. But in the Vaikuntha planet, he has his transcendental form with four hands as Narayana. There are innumerable planets in the spiritual sky, and in each of them, Krishna is present by his plenary manifestation of different names. Thus, Arjuna desires to see one of the forms manifest in the Vaikuntha planets. Of course, in each Vaikuntha planet, the form of Narayana is four-handed, but the four hands hold different arrangements of symbols: the conch shell, mace, lotus, and disc. According to the different hands, these four things are held in the Narayana are variously named. All of them forms. These forms are one with Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna requests to see his four-handed features.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, after seeing this another form, never seen before, I'm gladdened. His gladdened means he understands that Lord Krishna is my friend, and he could show such a huge form as Vishnu. So, having such close relationship with Krishna, so he's happy actually internally. But at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead. So, this is the personality of Godhead form, a Chaturbhuj form, right? Darasya Deva Parupam Prashida Devarup Devarupa Devesh Jagat or a few of the किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तम् इच्छामि त्वां द्रष्टुमहं तथैव तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते. Please read someone.
Yes,
Translation.
Guru.
O
Okay,
universal
okay,
form,
but
O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the Brahma Samhita 5.39, it is stated, Ramadi Murti Sukaladi Niyamena Tishtan. The Lord is eternally situated in hundreds and thousands of forms, and the main forms are those like Rama, Nrasimha, Narayana, etc. There are innumerable forms, but Arjuna knew that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. He is now asking to see the form of Narayana, a spiritual form. This verse establishes without any doubt the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other features originate from him. He is not different from his plenary expansions, and he is God in any of his innumerable forms. In all of these forms, he is a fresh, like a young man. That is a constant feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contamination of the material world.
Hare Krishna. One who knows Krishna becomes free at once from all contamination. Immediately. Sadhya yad anudhyasina yukta karmagrandhi nibandhana. So, this is the four-headed form. Arjuna is appealing Lord to so Sankha Chakra Gadadhara. I long to see you there. Shri Bhagavan Vacha मया प्रसन्नेन तवार्जुनेदं रूपं परं दर्शितमात्मयोगात् तेजोमयं विश्वम् अनन्तमाद्यं यन्मे त्वदन्येन दृष्टपूर्वम्. Translation. Hari Bol, please read. Go ahead, Madhav Prabhu.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. Purport. Arjuna wanted to see the universal form of the Supreme Lord, so Lord Krishna, out of his mercy upon his devotees, Arjuna, showed his universal form, full of effulgence and opulence. This form was glaring like the sun, and its many faces were rapidly changing. Krishna showed this form just to satisfy the desire of his friend Arjuna. This form was manifested by Krishna through his internal potency, which is inconceivable by human speculation. No one had seen this universal form of the Lord before Arjuna, but because the form was shown to Arjuna, other devotees in the heavenly planets and in other planets in outer space could also see it. They had not seen it before, but because of Arjuna, they were also able to see it. In other words, all the disciplic devotees of the Lord could see the universal form which was shown to Arjuna by the mercy of Krishna. Someone has commented that this form was shown to Duryodhana also, when Krishna went to Duryodhana to negotiate for peace. Unfortunately, Duryodhana did not accept the peace offer, but at that time, Krishna manifested some of his universal form. But those forms are different from this one. Shown to Arjuna, it is clearly said that no one had ever seen this form before.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, bro. So, from here, this sloka onwards, now Lord is going to 47 to 55. Now Lord is going to show the 4-hour form, then later on 2-hour form, and the glory of the 2-hour form. It is going to do it.
So here, Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhu.
when Krishna shown even Duryodhana the universal form, why he couldn't realize that he is Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrender?
Many times he realized that he is Supreme God. He could be Supreme God, but for very short period of time. The impression used to come very short period of time because of his bad association, like Shakuni and what his name is, Karna, Dushashan. So they used to always contaminate his mind. Even one of the days when so much of massacre were taken place, Arjuna killed so many of his warriors in battle, Kurukshetra. Then he came to Bishop Pitama, Duryodhana, and asked him, Pitama, what are you doing? What are you doing? See, my men are being killed. You are not doing anything. You are simply, you're not showing a real face, real strength. Vispita is saying, Baba, what can I do? Anything I am going to do, in front of me comes this Krishna and Arjuna. I cannot do anything in front of them. Krishna is Supreme God himself. Then he telling Krishna is Supreme God. Really? Yes. For so many years, I'm telling you this same thing. Krishna is Supreme God. So, oh, Krishna is Supreme God. Then he understood. But for a very short period of time. Again, he came back to his camp. Again, he got the bad association. Again, things became as usual, as before. So he was understanding, but at the same time, because of his bad association, he was not able to keep that understanding in his heart and could not take up the path of dharma. So that's what we could be one reason. There could be many other reasons also, because he is representing the demonic forces. In Mahabharata, you will find there are demons. They are coming to him at night time and they are telling the Duryodhan, you are our representative. You don't step back. You have to go ahead. You have to fight. These two people are not good. So demons, they are coming to him and they are instigating him to do bad things. So that happened many times in Mahabharata. It has been discussed. So of course, this is the way it goes. Even Karna also was knowing, and Duryodhana was also knowing, and who was Shukuni was also knowing that Krishna is God. Who was not knowing Krishna is God? But because they have accepted the demonic principle to be their life and soul, they cannot act otherwise. That's the dharma of theirs, to act demoniacally. That's the thing actually proved. Somebody has accepted the demonic principle, taken shelter of demonic principle, even though knowing things they will not able to accept. That's what it is. And the demonic principle is such that they want to rebel, they want to uh, withdraw, क्या बोलते हैं उसको? They want to go against God. That's what actually it is. Even if they know God, but they will go against Him. Like still now, many people are there, many atheists are there, in this world. So they know that Krishna is God, but they will go against Him, and they will somehow or other try to defy God. And they will put a research paper telling how Krishna is immoral. So why they are after Krishna? If Krishna would have not been God, then why do they care about it? but they care about it, why? Because Krishna is God. They want to define him. That's the demonic nature they're born into. And in this way they're complying. So unless some pure devotee gives them mercy, Bina Mahatpada Rajobhishekam, they cannot get to divine understanding, isn't it? So they were lacking the mercy of pure devotees. Everybody. Even demons becomes devotee by the mercy of the devotee only, otherwise not. But they are offenders against the devotee. Vidura is such a great soul, and Duryodhana is every day offending Vidura. Every day offending Vidura. So is it possible, even though you know the glory of the Lord, but when you are offending the devotee, you cannot become the devotee of the Lord. It's not possible at all. Such a great soul like Vidura, every day is cursing him, he's telling that you are kept servant, kept son of, sorry, you are the servant of a kept mistress. So why this is all because of bad association? It's accepted demonic principle, isn't it? Okay. Madhavara, you would like to put some more points? Any other devotee like to put some light over it? So even though knowing Krishna to be Supreme God, why could not he rectify his mode of action? So this is what I could understand. Because fully accepted the demonic nature to be all in all. And Bhagavad Gita tells that those who have accepted this Asuri Swabhava, they act in that way against Vishnu and against Vaishnava. Even though they want to follow internally, but they won't be able to follow it. It is so great irony because they cannot accept Vaishnavas into their life. They cannot uh, bow down in front of the Lord's devotees. That's why it is so. Even Jarasandha was a Vishnu worshipper, right? Bro? Jarasandha was worshipping Salagram Sila. But what about him? He became the offender against devotees of the Lord. He offended Krishna himself. So even though somebody worship, like some people, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami tells, if somebody worship Gaurang Mahaprabhu, he doesn't consider Nityanand Prabhu, then he is as equal as Asura. Why? Because you cannot worship Krishna alone. You have to worship Krishna along with his devotees. If devotees are not worshipped and Krishna is worshipped, this is a demoniac principle. This is what it happens with Duryodhana and all. So they have taken shelter of, I mean, no, of course, they have not taken shelter of Krishna. If somebody, even though knows that Krishna is God, but still they cannot get to that point because they are offenders. Dhritarashtra, he knows Krishna is God. He has read whole Bhagavad Gita, right? Not read, heard. But why don't he become devotee? Dhritarashtra heard Bhagavad Gita fully, right? Madhav Rajwalla Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
He understands that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah.
But still he could not become devotee. Why?
Right, it is association and it is offense he is making to the devotees.
Exactly.
That
Exactly. Because he has offended so much to Pandavas, he cannot become devotee so easily. He cannot become. He got association of Vidurji. Paramhans Bhagavata, Vidurji was always giving him consultations. But still he could not become devotee. Because he was offending Pandavas so many times. So at the end of life, he could become Dhira. But he could not become Narottama. He could not become Paramahansa Bhagavata, lover of Krishna, because the seed of Aprad has uh, turned him so far away from mercy of Krishna that it's not easy for him to become devotee of the Lord so easily, unless he is forgiven from the devotee of the Lord. like Jagai and Madai. They cannot. So before Krishna comes Krishna's devotees. And from Krishna's devotees' side only Krishna's mercy flows. Even though we know the glory of Krishna, but if we do not know the glory of Krishna's devotees, then we are demonic. So we cannot approach Krishna's mercy without Krishna's devotees. This is why it happened to many people, like Jarasandha. And one more fellow, Chaitanya Chaitanya, comes. He was considering Mahaprabhu to be the Lord, but did not consider Nityananda Prabhu to be also Supreme Lord. Because of that, he falls down. He falls down. He offended the associate of Nityananda Prabhu, Ramdas. Okay, let's go ahead. Text 48. Text 48. So, glory of Vishwarup. But further glories will be described of Lord's original, eternal, most beautiful form, 200 form. न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनेन दानै न च क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूपा शक्यहं लोके द्रष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर. Translation.
Translation. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine, for neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The divine vision in this connection should be clearly understood. Who can have divine vision? Divine means godly. Unless one attains the status of divinity as a demigod, he cannot have divine vision. And what is a demigod? It is stated in the Vedic scriptures that those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu are demigods. Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Deva. Those who are atheistic, that is, who do not believe in Vishnu or who recognize only the impersonal part of Krishna as a supreme and cannot have the divine vision. It is not possible to decry Krishna and at the same time have the divine vision. One cannot have the divine vision without becoming divine. In other words, those who have divine vision can also see like Arjuna. The Bhagavad Gita gives the description of the universal form, although this description was unknown to everyone before Arjuna. Now one can have some idea of the Vishwarupa after this incident. Those who are actually divine can see the universal form of the Lord, but one cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. The devotees, however, who are actually in the divine nature and who have divine vision are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. As described in the previous verse, Arjuna desired to see the 400 form of the Lord as Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of the universal form. In this verse, there are some significant words just like Veda Yajna Dhyaya Nai, which refers to studying Vedic literature and the subject matter of sacrificial regulations. Veda refers to all kinds of Vedic literature such as the four Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva, and the 18 Puranas, the Upanishads, and the Vedanta Sutra. One can study these at home or anywhere else. Similarly, there are sutras, Kalpa Sutras, Mimamsa Sutras for studying the method of sacrifice. Danai refers to the charity which is offered to a suitable party, such as those who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. Similarly, payas activities refers to the Agnihotra and the prescribed duties of the different castes. And the voluntary acceptance of some bodily pains is called tapasya. So one can perform all these, can accept bodily penances and give charity, study the Vedas, etc. But unless he is a devotee like Arjuna, it is not possible to see that universal form. Those who are impersonalists are also imagining that they are seeing the universal form of the Lord, but from the Bhagavad Gita we understand that the impersonalists are not devotees. Therefore, they are unable to see the universal form of the Lord. There are many persons who create incarnations. They falsely claim an ordinary human to be an incarnation, but this is all foolishness. We should follow the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, there is no possibility of attaining perfect spiritual knowledge. Although Bhagavad Gita is considered the preliminary study of the science of God, still it is so perfect that it enables one to distinguish what is what. The followers of the pseudo incarnation may say that they have also seen the transcendental incarnation of God, the universal form. But that is unacceptable because it is clearly stated here that unless one becomes a devotee of Krishna, one cannot see the universal form of God. So, one first of all has to become a pure devotee of Krishna, and then he can claim that he can show the universal form of what he has seen. A devotee of Krishna cannot accept false incarnations or followers of false incarnations.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. The devotee of the Lord cannot accept false incarnations and the followers of false incarnations. Not by reading Vedas, not by performing yajna, not by reading Shastra, Adhyaya, not by doing so many donations, nacha kriyavir, not by so many worships, neither by tapasya, not ordinary ugra tapasya, evam rupa sakya hamne loke. This form could not be seen in this human society, nirloke. Drashtum tvat annena kuru pravira. Drashtum, that you are able to see, be seen, tvat, then you, annena, by another kuru pravira. Always from the kuru. Nobody has seen in the human society this form of mine other than you. Because you are my devotee. As the Prabhupada tells, that unless somebody becomes devotee, he can never see this universal form. And forget about the form, the most loving form, two-handed form of Krishna. That is the even Sudur Darsam. Text 49. Mate vyatama cha vimudha bhavo दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरं इद्रिणं ममेदं व्यपेतभिप्रीतमना पुनस्त्वं तदेव मे रूपम् इदं प्रपश्य. Translation. Please read, someone, please read.
Translation. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma, and Drona, and his worshipable grandfather and master. But Krishna said that he need not be afraid of killing his grandfather. When the sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly of the Kurus, Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. Krishna, can you scroll up, Prabhuji?
Yeah, sorry.
Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna just to show him that these people were already killed for their unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjuna because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of the universal form was shown. Now Arjuna wanted to see the four-armed form, and Krishna showed him. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, for it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. Either a devotee wants to offer his respectable, worshipable feelings, or he wants to see the two-handed Krishna form so that
He can
he can
reciprocate.
reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes, thank you so much, bro. So, with all the doubts have been cleared by the Lord, showing Vishwarup form. That these people you are thinking that their relatives are already killed. So why you are worrying? So they are actually had been killed by me because of their unlawful actions. They witnessed the disrobing of Draupadi by such a loving devotee. And also another point Srila Prabhupada makes that that Lord's devotees they don't want to see this feature of the Lord universal form because they cannot much relate with this form. They cannot reciprocate with the form. They cannot serve the universal form. You cannot offer bhoga to the universal form, ringing the bell. Not possible at all. He's already accepting all the bhogas, eating up all the soldiers. So that's not so much appreciated from the Lord, from the devotees. Text 57, Sanjay Vacha. इत्यर्जुनं वासुदेवस्ततोक्त्वा स्वकं रूपं दर्शयामास भूयः आश्वासयामास च भीतं येनं भूत्वा पुनः सौम्यवपुर्महात्मा. Translation. Achyuta Sakatmaji, please read.
Yes, yes, bro. Sorry, bro. Actually, I am occupied.
You are occupied?
No, no, I'll read, bro.
Okay. Please read.
You have been touched by and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine.
Oh,
Now
where are
let
you
it be
reading?
finished.
Wait. Which sloka you are reading?
11.49, no, bro.
Huh?
49,
50, 50, 50.
50.
Huh?
Okay. Sanjay. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Lord Krishna, having spoken thus to Krishna, displayed his real four-armed form, and at last showed his two-armed form, thus increasing the fearful Arjuna. Purpose. When Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as four-armed. When he was requested by his friends, he transformed himself into an ordinary child. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a four-handed. But since Arjuna asked to see this four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again and then showed himself in his two-handed form. The word Somya Vapuha is very significant. Somya Vapuha is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form, Krishna. In the Brahma Samhita 5.38 it is stated, Preman Yanupurita Bhakti Vilokanena. Only a person whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of love can see the beautiful Sri Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So, the eyes of Sanjay is also being anointed by love. That's love is there. That's why he's able to appreciate to be Samya Rupa, Samya Vapu. Of course, Arjuna is having that love already in his heart. Text 51. Arjuna Uvacha Drishtvedam Manusam Rupam Tava Saumyam Janardana Idanim Asmi Samvrittaha Sacheta Prakritim Gataha. Translation.
Translation. Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form. He said, "O Janardana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature."
Perfect.
Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Here the words Manusam Rupam clearly indicate the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be originally two-handed. Those who deride Krishna as if he were an ordinary person are shown here to be ignorant of his divine nature. If Krishna is like an ordinary human being, then how is it possible for him to show the universe and again to show the four-handed Narayana form? So it is very clearly stated in the Bhagavad Gita that one who thinks that Krishna is an ordinary person and who guides the reader by claiming that it is the impersonal Brahman within Krishna speaking is doing the greatest injustice. Krishna has actually shown his universal form and his four-handed Vishnu form. So, how can he be an ordinary human being? A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentary on, because he knows what is what. The original verses of Bhagavad Gita are as clear as the sun. They do not require lamplight from foolish commentators.
Lamplight from the foolish commentator. So original verse of Bhagavad Gita as clear as the sun. Very clear. That Lord is showing his human-like form, the most beautiful form. And they say that no, the impersonal form was better and higher. Impersonal form is the real form inside the personality of Krishna. But pure devotee is not confused when misguiding commentary of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Text 52. Shri Bhagavan सुदूरदर्शमिदं रूपं दृष्ट्वा नसीयन्मम देवाप्य अस्य रूपस्य नित्यं दर्शनकाङ्क्षिणः. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are even ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear." Purport. अनुपम सुनिताय प्रभु जी आका अनुज
Hare
प्रजापति
Krishna.
पढ़िए.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead
You can
said,
read
"My
purport.
dear Arjuna." Okay. In the 48th verse of this chapter, Lord Krishna concluded revealing his universal form and informed Arjuna that this form is not possible to be seen by so many pious activities, sacrifices, etc. Now, here the word Sudurdarsham is used, indicating that Krishna's two-handed form is still more confidential. One may be able to see the universal form of Krishna by adding a little tinge of devotional service to various activities like penances, Vedic study, and philosophical speculation. It may be possible, but without a tinge of bhakti, one cannot see that has already been explained. Still beyond that universal form, the form of Krishna with two hands is still more difficult to see, even for demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. They desire to see him, and we have evidence in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother Devaki, all the demigods have from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna, and they offered nice prayers to the Lord. Although he was not at that time visible to them, they waited to see him. A foolish person may deride him, thinking him an ordinary person. He may be offered respect not to him but to the impersonal something within him. But these are all nonsensical postures. Krishna in his two-armed form is actually desired to be seen by demigods like Brahma and Shiva. In Bhagavad Gita 9.11, it is confirmed, Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam. He is not visible to the foolish person who deride him. Uh, Krishna body, Krishna's body, as confirmed by Brahma Samhita and confirmed by Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita, is completely spiritual and full of bliss and eternality. His body is never like a material body, but for some who make a study of Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita or similar Vedic scriptures, Krishna is a problem. For one using a material process, Krishna is considering to be a great historical personality and very learned philosopher, but uh, he is an ordinary man, and even though he was so powerful, he had to accept a material body. Ultimately, they think that the absolute truth is impersonal. Therefore, they think that from his impersonal feature, he assumed a personal feature attached to material nature. This is a materialistic calculation of the Supreme Lord. Another calculation is speculative. Those who are in search of knowledge and also speculate on Krishna and consider him to be less important than the universal form of the Supreme. To Arjuna, he is more important than his personal form. Thus, to think that the universal form of Krishna, which was manifested to Arjuna, is more important than his personal form, according to them, the personal form of the Supreme is something imaginary. They believe that in the ultimate issue, the absolute truth is not a person, but the transcendental process is described in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter. To hear about Krishna from authorities, that is the actual Vedic process, and those who are actually in the Vedic line hear about Krishna from authority, and by repeated hearing about him, Krishna becomes dear. As we have several times discussed, Krishna is covered by his Yog Maya potency. He is not to be seen or revealed to anyone or everyone. Only by one to whom he reveals himself can be seen by him. This is confirmed in the Vedic literature. For one who is a surrendered soul, the absolute truth can actually be understood. And the transcendentalist, by continuous Krishna consciousness and by devotional service to Krishna, can have his spiritual eyes opened and can see Krishna by revelation. Such a revelation is not possible even for the demigods. Advanced demigods are always in the hope of seeing Krishna in his two. It is very difficult even for the demigods to understand Krishna, and the advanced demigods are always in the hope of seeing Krishna in his two-handed form. The conclusion is that although to see the universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult and not possible for anyone and everyone, it is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyam Sundara. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you so much, bro. So that's why word is used. So Durdarshan. So for the Vishwarupa, it is used Durdarshan. But for this person from the Lord, so Durdarshan. Idam Dashtan Asiyan. Devapiyas Rupasya. Even Devatas can also not able to see this form of mine as two-handed form, right? That you are able to see, oh Arjuna. Right? Because to see this form, one requires prema. Without prema, one cannot see. Even though they see, but they won't see Krishna. They see something else. So we require prema, and whoever has prema, love of God, they can see Krishna. Krishna is. And prema is very, very rare. You know, Sudurlabha. So that's why there is screening takes place. Not everybody is able to see. Devatas were able to see Vishwarup. But are devatas would able to see the 200 forms of the Lord? And they're messy. Certainly not. Okay, let's go ahead to next sloka. 53. Naho vedena tapasa na danena chejaya sakya evam vidho drashtum drashtva nasi mam yatha. Translation and Madhav Group.
The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Krishna first appeared before his parents Devaki and was Deva in the four-handed form, and then he transformed himself into the two-handed form. This mystery is very difficult to understand for those who are atheist or those who are devoid of devotional service. For scholars who have simply studied Vedic literature by way of grammatical knowledge or mere academic qualifications, Krishna is not possible to understand, nor is he to be understood by persons who officially go to the temple to offer worship. They make their visit, but they cannot understand Krishna as he is. Krishna can be understood only through the path of devotional service, as explained by Krishna himself in this verse, in the next verse.
So, not by the same qualification, same qualification what was there put for saying universal form Lord is putting here. Naha vedena tapsa na danena chejaya sakyam vidadrashtam drishtva nasimamit. So, what is the qualification? This is the qualification. Bhaktya tu ananya shakyaham veva vidho arjuna ज्ञातुम द्रष्टुम च तत्वेन प्रवेष्टुम च परन्तप भक्ता तु अनन्य शक्य. Translation.
Translation.
Go ahead.
My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Krishna can be understood only by the process of undivided devotional service. He explicitly explains this in this verse so that unauthorized commentators who try to understand Bhagavad Gita by the speculative process will know that they are simply wasting their time. No one can understand Krishna or how he came from parents in the four-handed form and at once changed himself into two-handed form. These things are very difficult to understand by study of the Vedas or philosophical speculation. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that no one can see him or enter into understanding of these matters. Those who, however, are very experienced students of the Vedic literature can learn about him from the Vedic literature in so many ways. There are so many rules and regulations, and if one at all wants to understand Krishna, he must follow the regulative principles described in the authoritative literature. One can perform penance in accordance with those principles. For example, to undergo serious penances, one may observe fasting on Janmashtami, the day on which Krishna appeared, and on the 2 days of Ekadashi, the 11th day after the new moon and the 11th day after the full moon. As far as charity is concerned, it is explained that charity should be given to the devotees of Krishna who are engaged in his devotional service to spread Krishna philosophy or Krishna consciousness throughout the world. Krishna consciousness is a benediction to humanity. Lord Chaitanya was appreciated by Rupa Goswami as the most munificent man of charity because love of Krishna, which is very difficult to achieve, was distributed freely by him. So, if one gives some amount of his money to persons involved in distributing Krishna consciousness, that charity given to spread Krishna consciousness is the greatest charity in the world. And if one worships as prescribed in the temples in India, there is always some state statue, usually of Vishnu or Krishna. That is a chance to progress by offering worship and respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the beginners in the devotional service to the Lord, temple worship is essential, and this is confirmed in the Vedic literature, Svetasvatara Upanishad. Yasya deve parabhaktir yata deve tada gurau tasyaite khaditahi artha prakashante mahatmanaha. One who has unflinching devotion for the Supreme Lord and is directed by the spiritual master, in whom he has similar unflinching faith, can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead by revelation. One cannot understand Krishna by mental speculation. For one who does not take personal training under the guidance of bona fide spiritual master, it is impossible to even begin to understand Krishna. The word tu is specifically used here to indicate that no other process can be used, can be recommended, or can be successful in understanding Krishna. The personal forms of Krishna, the two-handed form and the four-handed form, are described as the Sudarshanam.
Doordarshan.
Very difficult to see. They are completely different from the temporary universal form shown to Arjuna. The four-handed form of Narayana and the two-handed form of Krishna are eternal and transcendental, whereas the universal form exhibited to Arjuna is temporary. The words Tvadanyena na drishtapurvam state that before Arjuna, no one had seen that universal form. Also, they suggest that amongst the devotees there was no necessity of showing it. That form was exhibited by Krishna at the request of Arjuna so that in the future, when one represents himself as an incarnation of God, people can ask to see his universal form. The word na, used repeatedly in the previous verse, indicates that one should not be very much proud of such credentials as an academic education in Vedic literature. One must take to the devotional service of Krishna. Only then can one attempt to write commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Krishna changes from the universal form to the four-handed form of Narayana and then his own natural form of two hands. This indicates that the four-handed forms and the other forms mentioned in the Vedic literature are all emanations of the original two-handed Krishna. He is the origin of all emanations. Krishna is distinct even from these forms, what to speak of the impersonal conception. As far as the four-handed forms of Krishna are concerned, it is stated clearly that even the most identical four-handed form of Krishna, which is known as the Mahavishnu, who is lying on the cosmic ocean and from whose breathing so many innumerable universes are passing out and entering, is also an expansion of the Supreme Lord, as stated in the Brahma Samhita. Yashaika nishvasita sitakala matavalambyam jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanatha Vishnur mahan saihayasya kala vishesho govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The Mahavishnu, into whom all the innumerable universes enter and from whom they come forth again simply by his breathing process, is a plenary expansion of Krishna. Therefore, I worship Govinda, Krishna, the cause of all causes. Therefore, one should conclusively worship the personal form of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has eternal bliss and knowledge. He is the source of all forms of Vishnu. He is the source of all forms of incarnation, and he is the original personality as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. In the Vedic literature, Gopala Thapani Upanishad 1.1, the following statement appears.
Satchidananda
Satchidanand,
Rupa. Yeah, good.
Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Klishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedyaya Guru Buddhi Sakshine. I offer my respectable obeisances unto Krishna, who has a transcendental form of bliss, eternity, and knowledge. I offer my respect to him because understanding him means understanding the Vedas, and he is therefore the supreme spiritual master. Then it is said, Krishno vai paramam daivatam. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Gopala Thapani Upanishad. Eko vasi sarvaga Krishna idya. That one Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and he is worshipable. Eko pisan bahuda yo babhati. Krishna is one, but he is manifested in unlimited forms and expanded incarnations. The Brahma Samhita 5.1 says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, who has a body of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. He has no beginning, for he is the beginning of everything. He is the cause of all causes. Elsewhere it is said, Yatravatirnam Krishnakhyam Param Brahmana Narakriti. The Supreme Absolute Truth is a person. His name is Krishna, and he sometimes descends on this earth. Similarly, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we find description of all kinds of incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in this list, the name of Krishna also appears. But then it is said that this Krishna is not an incarnation of God, but is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Ete chamsa kalapamsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Similarly, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says,
Madhav, we can wait. So here, Srila Prabhupada is giving all different quotations of how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, above all other incarnations, all different forms from Gopal Tapani Upanishad and different other places. So here we see that because Krishna is the center of all the other relationships, what relationship Krishna can reciprocate, no other form can reciprocate all the relationships. That's why Krishna is the complete Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 55. मत्कर्म कृन् मत्परमो मद्भक्त संगवर्जितः निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु यः स मामेति पांडव. Very important sloka for sadhakas. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotion service, free from the contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, supreme goal of life is mat paramo. Then, who is friendly to every living being, nirvaira, sarvabhutesu. Yes, Amma, he certainly comes to me. Mr. Prabhupada gives quite a good amount of purport into it. So, Hare Krishna, can someone read this purport? Or are you all, Hare Krishna, are you there? I think this is the last sloka. Please read from your book.
Sure.
Please read from your book, Prabhu. I'm just coming in just 1 minute. Read the purport out, please. Just we complete today this particular chapter. Please read it, Prabhu.
Purport by His Divine Grace, S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. things to read from the book, right, Prabhu?
Madhav, bro, are you reading? Haribol?
As you
Hare Krishna.
cannot, I just stopped, Prabhu. I'll just start now.
You will
Any,
start now?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Who wants to approach the supreme of all the personalities of Godhead on the Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual sky and be intimately connected with the Supreme Personality, Krishna, must take this formula as stated by the Supreme Himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is a book directed to the conditioned souls who are engaged in the material world with the purpose of lording it over nature and who do not know of the real spiritual life. The Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence and his eternal relationship with the Supreme Spiritual Personality, and to teach one how to go back home, back to Godhead. Now, here is the verse which clearly explains the process by which one can attain the success in his spiritual activity, devotional service. As far as work is concerned, one should transfer his energy entirely to Krishna conscious activities, as stated in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Anasaktesya Vishayan Yathartham Upayunjata Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagyam Uchyate. No work should be done by any man except in relation to Krishna. This is called Krishna Karma. One may be engaged in various activities, but one should not be attached to the result of his work. The result should be done only for him. For example, one may be engaged in business, but to transform that activity into Krishna consciousness, one has to do business for Krishna. If Krishna is the proprietor of the business, then Krishna should enjoy the profit of the business. If a businessman is in the possession of thousands and thousands of dollars, and if he has to offer all this to Krishna, I can do it. This is work for Krishna. Instead of constructing a big building for his sense gratification, He can construct a nice temple for Krishna and he can install the deity of Krishna and arrange for the deity's service, as is outlined in the authorized books of devotional service. This is called Krishna karma. One should not be attached to the result of his work, but the result should be offered to Krishna. And one should accept as prasadam the remnants of offerings to Krishna. If one construct a very big building for Krishna and install the deity of Krishna, one is not prohibited from living there. But it is understood that the proprietor of the building is Krishna. That is called Krishna consciousness. If, however, one is not able to construct a temple for Krishna, one can engage himself in cleansing the temple of Krishna. That is also Krishna karma. One can cultivate a garden. Anyone who has land in India, at least any poor man has a certain amount of land, can utilize that for Krishna by growing flowers to offer him. One can sow tulasi plants because tulasi leaves are very important, and Krishna has recommended this in the Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam phalam thoyam. Krishna desires that one offer him either a leaf or a flower or fruit or a little water, and by such an offering he is satisfied. This leaf is especially referred to tulasi. So one can sow tulasi and pour water on the plant. Thus, even the poorest man can engage in the service of Krishna. These are some of the examples of how one can engage in the working of for Krishna. The word Mat Parama refers to one who considers the association of Krishna in his supreme abode to be the highest perfection of life. Such a person does not wish to be elevated to the higher planets, such as moon or sun or heavenly planets, or even the highest planet of this universe, Brahmaloka. He has no attraction for that. He is only attracted to being transferred to the spiritual sky, and even in the spiritual sky is not satisfied with merging into the glowing Brahmajyoti effulgence, for he wants to enter the highest spiritual planet, and therefore is not interested in any other. As indicated by the word Madbhakta, he fully engages in devotional service, especially in the 9 processes of devotional engagement: hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering prayers, carrying out the orders of the Lord, making friends with him, and surrendering everything to him. One can engage Sangha Varjita is very significant. One should disassociate from himself from persons who are against Krishna. Not only are the atheistic persons against Krishna, but also are those who are attracted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. Therefore, the pure form of devotional service is described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as follows: Anyabhilasita shunyam jnana karmadhyana anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami clearly states that if anyone wants to execute unalloyed devotional service, he must be freed from all kinds of material contamination. He must be freed from the association of persons who are addicted to fruitive activities and mental speculation. When freed from such unwanted association and from the contamination of material desires, one favorably cultivates knowledge of Krishna, that is called pure devotional service. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjitam. Bhakti, Haribhakti Vilasa. One should think of Krishna and act for Krishna favorably, not unfavorably. Kamsa was an enemy of Krishna. From the very beginning of Krishna's birth, Kamsa planned in so many ways to kill him. And because he was always unsuccessful, he was always thinking of Krishna. Thus, while working, while eating, and while sleeping, he was always Krishna consciousness in every respect. But that Krishna consciousness was not favorable. And therefore, in spite of his always thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day, he was considered a demon, and Krishna at last killed him. Of course, anyone who is killed by Krishna attains salvation immediately, but that is not the aim of the pure devotee. The pure devotee does not even want salvation. It does not want to be transferred even to the highest planet, Goloka Vrindavan. He only His only objective is to serve Krishna wherever he may be. A devotee of Krishna is friendly to everyone. Therefore, it is said here that he has no enemy. How is this? A devotee situated in Krishna consciousness knows that only devotional service to Krishna can relieve a person from all the problems of life. Has personal experience, and therefore he wants to introduce this system, Krishna consciousness, into human society. There are many examples in history of the devotees of the Lord who risked their lives for the spreading of God consciousness. The favorite example is Lord Jesus Christ. He was crucified by the non devotees, but he sacrificed his life for spreading God consciousness. Of course, it would be superficial to understand that he was killed. Similarly, in India also there are many examples such as Thakur Haridasa and Prahlad Maharaja. Why such risk? Because they wanted to spread Krishna consciousness and it is difficult. A Krishna conscious person knows that if a man is suffering, it is due to his unforgetfulness of his eternal relationship with Krishna. Therefore, the highest benefit one can render to human society is relieving one's neighbor from all material problems. In such a way, a pure devotee is engaged in the service of the Lord. Now, we can imagine how merciful Krishna is to those engaged in his service, risking everything for him. Therefore, it is certain that such persons must reach the supreme planet after leaving the body. In summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is a temporary manifestation, and the form of time, which devours everything, and even the form of Vishnu, four-handed, have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the original of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of the original Vishwarupa or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, but for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important, but the original form, two-handed Syamasundara. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that those who are attached to the Syamasundara form of Krishna in love devotion can see him always within the heart and cannot see anything else. One understand therefore that the purport of this 11th chapter is that the form of Krishna is essential and supreme. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 11th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the universal form.
Prabhu, Madhav Rajala Prabhu. So we just completed now the 11th chapter with very, very essential instruction to all of us. Lord is giving here. What are the few things that somebody can do and he can attain Krishna? Mat karma krin, mat paramo, mat bhakta, sangvarjita, nirvaira sarabhutesu. So how many are? 5 things. Very nicely detailed by Srila Prabhupada. What are mat karma, what are the activities should devotee perform for Krishna? Mat paramo, how devotees of Krishna should always think about returning home back to Godhead, becoming devotee of Krishna. Sangha Vardita, and not associating with those who are against Krishna consciousness. I mean, unfavorable association that influences us to think otherwise. Krishna consciousness. Nirvairaha, never making anybody to be enemy. Vedat Satrava, Sarvabhuteshu. Yes, Amameti Mandava, that person attached to me. Certainly comes to me. Okay, So, dear devotees, thank you so much. So, we like to pause here. Do you have anything to say? Achyut Prabhu, Madhav Prabhu, Anubhav Prabhu.
Nothing, Prabhu.
Nothing to say. Thank you. So, tomorrow, 10 o'clock, right? Okay. So, Prabhupada ki jai. God Brahmanand.